8:15 से दरवाजे पे प्योन तक नहीं आया अपने डिपार्टमेंट।
अनम्यूट कर दीजिए। म्यूट से है।
बस ये कंफर्म करें स्टूडेंट से।
नो आ गए। नो आ गए।
बस हेलो सिर्फ 9 स्टूडेंट हैं।
आ रही है।
Anticoagulants by Dr. Maureen Niram, Pharmacology. This is second lecture related to this topic. God gave us two parallel systems for coagulation. One is the coagulation and other is the anticoagulants. They both are playing together. The clotting factors are responsible for the coagulation, and there are 13 coagulating factors. And this is the cascade where the intrinsic and extrinsic systems are playing. It starts from 12, factor 12, then 9, then 9 and 8 plus causes activation of factor 10. Factor 10 plus factor 5 causes the activation of prothrombin. This is the first step in the clot formation. We are dealing with the prothrombin, which is converted into thrombin, and that thrombin causes the cleavage of fibrinogen into the fibrin. And fibrin forms the meshwork which attracts the WBS platelets and other elements of the blood for formation of coagulation. Up to the thrombin, we have completed this topic. Anticoagulants, which are causes anticoagulation through the antithrombin factor, antiprothrombin, then the drugs which acts on the thrombin causes inactivation of the thrombin, results in the not conversion of fibrinogen into the fibrin. Today, we are dealing with the fibrinolytic factors. Fibrinolytic are the drugs which acts when the fibrin meshworks are formed. And these are the drugs which are causing the antithrombin effects after the formation of thrombin. We have already done the parenteral anticoagulants and oral anticoagulants like heparin and the warfarin. Then the fibrinolytic or thrombolytic drugs. These are the drugs which activate the conversion of plasminogen to the plasmin. The plasmin is hydrolyzes the fibrin and thus dissolve the clot. And these drugs are streptokinase, urokinase, LT-plase, reteplase, tenecteplase, and estroplase. Streptokinase, urokinase, LT-plase, reteplase, tenecteplase, and estroplase. These are the drugs which causes their mechanism is activate the conversion of plasminogen into the plasmin that hydrolyzes the fibrin and thus dissolve the clot. means their action is beyond the formation of thrombin. Fibrinolytic or thrombolytic drugs, streptokinase, it is a protein, and this protein is named as streptokinase because it is synthesized by the streptococci. It is the round bacteria, and they are derived from them. So they are termed as streptokinase. They form a complex with the plasminogen, and this enzymatic complex catalyzes the conversion of inactive plasminogen to active plasmin. Means inactive plasminogen, which is already present in our body by the god, this plasminogen is a fibrinolytic agent, and when it becomes activate into the form of plasmin, it causes the fibrinolysis. Means the clot which is formed can be broken down by the administration of the streptokinase. The streptokinase is effective when there is the clot formation, but before the formation of the clot, there is no role of streptokinase. Fibrinolytic agents are the second one is the urokinase. The streptokinase is derived from the streptococci, but urokinase, it is a human enzyme, and this is synthesis by the kidney, and this directly converts plasminogen to the active plasmin. Means mechanism is same, but it is derived from the human body, and it is synthesized in the kidney. This is not a foreign protein or non-antigenic. Means if it is synthesized in the body, there is no antigenicity. But when we are giving the something through the any other from the external, so it may be antigenic. So urokinase is human derived. It is present in the human body, synthesized by the kidney, and it is causes the conversion of plasminogen into the plasmin, and that plasmin is very much effective in the fibrinolytic process. Means it causes the fibrinolysis. LT-Place, this is also fibrinolytic agent, and previously it is obtained from the human melanoma cells, but now this is synthesized by recombinant DNA technology. LT-Place is a fibrin selective, so it has advantages on lysis of the fibrin. Means the fibrin protein gets degraded by this drug, and this drug, first this is derived from the human melanoma cells, but now it can be prepared externally by the recombinant DNA technology, and this is effective in the older clots, and its half-life is 5 minutes. That is the pharmacokinetic. Fibrinolytic or thrombolytic drugs, when you have to give these drugs, this is the question. These drugs are given when there is pulmonary embolism. This is not prophylactic drug, but when there is a pulmonary embolization, then you can give the fibrinolytic agents. Deep venous thrombosis, ascending thrombophlebitis means inflammation of the veins. When there is inflammation of the venous system, there is the chances of clot formations, and if once the clot is formed, the fibrinolytic agents have the ability to dissolve their clots. So pulmonary embolism, deep venous thrombosis, ascending thrombophlebitis, and after acute myocardial infarction, and central retinal vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, deep venous thrombosis, ascending thrombophlebitis, acute myocardial infarction, and central retinal vein thrombosis. These are the indications for the fibrinolytic drugs, means streptokinase, urokinase, altiplase. Then comes the platelet aggregation inhibitors. As you know, the clot is formed by the accumulation of the platelets. So you have to give the drugs which causes the inhibition of aggregation of platelets. When there is no platelet, then there is the less chances of thromboembolism phenomena. So the first drug that inhibiting the platelet aggregation is the aspirin. Aspirin, as you know, this is the drug which is anti-inflammatory. So blocks prostaglandin thrombosin A2 synthesis by irreversible acetylation and inhibition of cyclooxygenase. Cyclooxygenase is the enzyme which causes the formation of prostaglandin thromboxane A2. If this enzyme is inhibited, there is irreversible acetylation. So there is decrease formation of prostaglandin thromboxane A2. When there is less prostaglandin thromboxane A2, it will result in suppression of platelet aggregation. So there is less accumulation of platelet in fibrin meshwork. This drug is used in ischemic heart diseases. Ischemic heart diseases, prophylactic treatment of transient cerebral ischemia. Platelet aggregation inhibitors, clopidogrel and ticlopidine. Clopidogrel and the ticlopidine, these two drugs are also called platelet aggregation inhibitors. Reduce platelet aggregation by irreversible blocking the ADP receptors on the platelets. ADP, adenosine diphosphate receptors on the platelets. Aspirin block the cyclooxygenase, and clopidogrel and ticlopidine, these two drugs, they decrease the ADP receptors on the platelets, so they reduce the platelet aggregation. These drugs are used to prevent thrombosis in patient who goes surgery of placement of coronary stent. In stenting procedure of coronary vessels, there is the chances of thrombosis. So these two drugs are given prophylactically to prevent the formation of thrombosis in the patients who are going placement of coronary stents. clopidogrel and ticlopidine, these two drugs have side effects of nausea. Dyspepsia means there is the excessive secretion of the acid in the stomach, diarrhea, hemorrhages, and leukopenia. These are the side effects of the platelet aggregation inhibitors. Dipyridamole, this is also platelet aggregation inhibitor. This is the coronary vasodilator. Inhibit the platelet function by inhibiting adenosine uptake and cyclic GMP phosphodiesterase activity. Aspirin block the cyclooxygenase. Dipyridamole block the cyclic GMP phosphodiesterase activity. In result of this, there is the inhibition of adenosine uptake, and when there is decreased adenosine, there is the inhibition of the platelet function to get aggregated. So there is the least chances of developing coagulative diseases. Used with aspirin, this dipyridamole is used with aspirin to prevent cerebrovascular ischemia in cases of hypertension, and these drugs are used with warfarin for the prophylaxis of thromboembolic in patients with prosthetic heart valves. Cilostazol is a newer phosphodiesterase inhibitor like the dipyridamole. This also promotes the vasodilation and inhibit the platelet aggregation, and this is used for the intermittent claudications. This is all about the drugs which are related to the coagulopathies, means formation of coagulum. Start from the drugs which causes the thrombin formation inhibition. Then there are the drugs which causes the complex with the thrombin and inactivation of the thrombin. First there is the formation inhibitor, then activator inhibitor, then the thrombin inhibitor, then there is a fibrinolytic agents. There are three steps in the formation of a coagulum. One is the activation of thrombin, second the conversion of fibrinogen into the fibrin, and third one is the meshwork formation of the fibrin which attracts the platelets and the RBCs. There are three levels of the coagulum formation, and there are various drugs which inhibit all these three levels. Now we are starting the drugs which are used in the bleeding disorders. Means first we are dealing the drugs which are anticoagulants. Now we are reading the drugs which used in bleeding disorders. Vitamin K is the vitamin which is required for the formation of various coagulatory factors like coagulation factor 2, coagulation factor 7, 9, 10 in the hepatocytes. If vitamin K is not there, there is the decreased formation or no formation of these coagulatory factors. So when there is the bleeding disorders, the first drug is vitamin K, because this vitamin is necessary for the formation of coagulatory factors. Then the plasma fraction. Patients who are suffered from the bleeding disorders, we have to give them plasma coagulating factors, because these factors deficiency results in bleeding. So when we are giving the coagulatory factors like deficiency of factor 8, that is called hemophilia A, deficiency of factor 9, that is the hemophilia B. These are two conditions where there is the excessive tendency of bleeding. So they needs these factors. Fibrinolytic inhibitors means you inhibit the fibrinolytic cascade. And how you will inhibit these fibrinolytic inhibitors? They are called aminocaproic acid. Aminocaproic acid, it competitively inhibit plasminogen activation. Means if inhibit plasminogen, so there is no plasmin, there is no lysis of the fibrin. So this is called fibrinolytic inhibitors. And tenesmic acid, it is analog of aminocaproic acid. So these drugs are called fibrinolytic inhibitors. Serine protease inhibitor. Aprotinin inhibit fibrinolysis by free plasmin and may have other anti-hemorrhagic effects as well, because it also inhibits the plasmin streptokinase complexes. So these drugs are called fibrinolytic inhibitors, and we are using these drugs in the bleeding disorders. Then platelet activation. In coagulative defects, we are reading about the platelet inhibitors, but in platelet bleeding disorders, we have to use the platelet activation. Means platelet activation should cause the decrease in the bleeding tendency. Chemical signals that oppose platelet activation. Which are the chemical signals which oppose the platelet activation? They are elevated prostacyclin level. Means you increase the cyclic MP. When there is an increased cyclic MP, there increased platelet activation. Decreased plasma level of thrombin and thromboxane means when plasma level of thrombin get decreased, there is the activation of the platelet. So we are giving the drugs which causes the platelet activation in the patients who are suffering from the bleeding disorders. Which are the chemical signals that promote platelet aggregations? Decreased prostacyclin level, exposed collagen means excessive collagen exposure results in the formation of tissue factors which causes the attraction of the platelets towards the lesion. Increased synthesis of thrombin. These are chemical signals results in the increased platelet activation. One arachidonic acid, that is prostaglandin H2, and thromboxane A2, clumping of the platelets. These agents inhibit chemical signals that promote platelet aggregation. Means, what are the agents which inhibit these signals results in platelet aggregation? These agents used for prevention and treatment of occlusive cardiovascular diseases, to maintain vascular graft and arterial patency, and they also help in thrombolytic therapy in myocardial infarction. Vitamin K is required for the formation of coagulation factors by an unknown mechanism. Vitamin K is fat soluble vitamin and it is found in the leafy vegetables. Their dietary requirement is raw. There are two forms of vitamin K, K1 and K2. They are found in the food called phytodyne, and these are the vitamin found in the intestine, and they are called menaquinone, and water soluble vitamin K3 called menadione. Means there are three types, two types existing, and third one is also vitamin K3. Vitamin K required bile salt because this is the fat soluble vitamin. There is the produced dyspnea when you are giving with rapid administration. Chest and the back pain means the administration of vitamin K is in injectable form, infusion form, so you should give slowly vitamin K because this is the fat soluble vitamin. Currently administered to all newborns. The vitamin K deficiency is occurred in hospitalized patients and severe hepatic failure like cirrhosis of liver. Plasma fraction. Plasma coagulating factors deficiency causes bleeding. So deficiency of factor 8 or deficiency of factor 9. Uncomplicated hemorrhages in joint treated with factor 8 and factor 9 required 30 to 50% activity for 24 hours. Soft tissue hemorrhage required 100% activity for 7 days. And hematuria required 10% activity for 3 days. These are the plasma fractions. You are administered the plasma with the coagulation factors. Fibrinolytic inhibitors, that is the aminocaproic acid. It competitively inhibits the plasminogen activation. When there is inhibition of plasminogen, there is less plasmin is formed, and when there is less plasmin is formed, there is less fibrinolytic activity. Tranexamic acid, it is analog of aminocaproic acid. Aprotinin inhibit the fibrinolysis by free plasmin and may have other anti-hemorrhagic effects as well. It also inhibits the plasmin streptokinase complex. So these drugs are called fibrinolytic inhibitors. This is all about the 2 days lecture. If you have any question. क्वेश्चन का पूछा लड़कियों से.
इन्हें जो चैट नहीं होते हैं
क्वेश्चंस पूछो.
पीपीटी पे शेयर थी ना पीपीटी शेयर थी ना पीपीटी शेयर थी पीपीटी
Coagulopathies or the bleeding disorders, we categorize into one is the coagulopathies and other are the bleeding disorders. In the coagulopathies, there are various factors which are responsible for the coagulation. If these factors causes coagulation, there are different level of activation of these factors. From the pharmacological point of view, first the thrombin formation. So thrombin formation needs thrombin activators. So first we read the drugs which inhibit the formation of prothrombin activator. If there is no prothrombin activator, there is no thrombin formation. If there is no thrombin formation, there is no fibrinogen formation. If once the thrombin is formed, there are list of drugs which block the activation of thrombin. They form the complex with the thrombin and they results in the deficiency of this factor. Activation of this factor. When there is decreased activation of thrombin, there is no fibrinogen. Then third categorization of the drug is thrombolytic agents. First, the inhibition of prothrombin activator. Then when thrombin is formed, some drugs form the complex and they inactivate the thrombin to cause the conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. And if there is the fibrin formation occurs, there are the drugs which are known as the fibrinolytic drugs. And it also contains a list. This is the coagulopathies and the drugs which are causes coagulopathies inhibition. They are categorized as parenteral, oral drugs, and they are responsible for various clinical conditions. Application have various clinical conditions like these drugs in patients who are suffered from excessive coagulation in the venous system, excessive coagulation in the arterial system, ischemic heart diseases, thromboembolic phenomena, claudications, and hypertensive diseases, ischemic cerebral diseases. These all drugs are very much valuable in this. Then second event is the excessive bleeding. Sometimes patients are suffered from the disorder of excessive bleeding. In cases of excessive bleeding, we need the drugs which prevent the bleeding. And in this chapter, we read the vitamin K, which is responsible for the formation of various coagulatory factors in the hepatocytes. If we are giving the vitamin K is a fat soluble vitamin, and if we are giving the vitamin K, it is responsible in the formation of various coagulatory factors. So there is a less chances of bleeding. Along with this, we have given the factors in the form of plasma fraction. And also the drugs like aminocapric acids. These drugs are used in the bleeding disorders. चलेगा
ये स्लाइड पे करें, शेयर हो सकती है मैडम
मुझसे कह दें कि उस पे यूट्यूब पे जाएंगे
यूट्यूब पे.
This lecture is gone on the YouTube. If you search the IT pumps and lecture of pharmacology, you can find this lecture. Okay, along with slides and all the lecture. फोरेंसिक का लेक्चर कितने दिन था कह रहे हैं फोरेंसिक का लेक्चर हो रहा था